thanks for tuning in.
Welcome to the Edwards Desk from the Jane and Brian Williams studio for a special episode of Elon Phoenix Weekly.
I'm Tellier Lundquist.
And I'm Taylor Schmitt.
We've got a full slate of segments today, including this week's Game of the Week, a film room sit-down with Elon quarterback Davis Cheek, an update on men's and women's soccer, and more. But before that, we have to get to the Game of the Week.
Last week, we introduced a new Game of the Week segment, with us highlighting one of Elon's top performances of the week. This week, we are heading to the tennis courts where the Phoenix hosted their second annual Jimmy Powell Invitational Tournament. For the Elon's women's tennis team, Sophia Ito was the standout as she first won over Longwood University's Maria Sayez 6-0 and 7-6. Afterwards, she defeated Richmond's Marta Buendia 5-7, 6-4, 12-10. On Sunday, she topped off her successful weekend with a 4-6, 6-4, 6-4 victory over Davidson's Nicole Krukinoff.
For more information on the tennis team and their performance in the Jimmy Powell Invitational, we go to our tennis correspondent, Amy Delano, from right inside the Jimmy Powell Tennis Center. So, Amy, what stood out to you about how the women's team played this weekend?
Yeah, Sophia Ito was not the only Elon tennis player with success over the weekend. On day one, the Phoenix saw 5 athletes win their round 1 matchups in singles and 1 duo win their matchups in doubles. In doubles play, Victoria Sald and Uma Nair highlighted day 1, beating Richmond's Leah Owens and Desi Zlatova 6-4 to pick up Elon's lone doubles win on the day. Both also picked up victories in singles play, along with Kiana Rizzolo and Olivia Archer. On day 2, the Phoenix had 4 athletes win their final matchups in singles and 2 doubles win their matchups in doubles. This is the second tournament that Elon has hosted in the fall season. Elon kicked off its fall schedule on September 13th through the 15th with the Elon Fall Invitational. In a tournament that featured 10 programs, the Phoenix had a solid showing in their first tournament of the fall. The Phoenix will then have almost 3 weeks away from competition before traveling to Winston-Salem, North Carolina to begin the ITA Carolina Regionals. The team brings back 5 from the 2018-2019 season, which includes 2018-2019 All-CAA selections Alex Koniev, Uma Nair, Nicole Xiao, and Olivia Archer. Sophia Ito, who went a perfect 3-0 over the weekend, posted an 8-3 overall record in singles play last spring. With all the talent on this roster, Elon is looking forward to repeat another year of success.
Well, that's always good news. Thanks for your time, Amy.
When we come back, we hear about one of our sporting teams winning a very special award for their work off the field. Stay tuned.
Coming into college, I knew that I wanted to do some kind of journalism in broadcast capacity that has to do with sports.
I also come from a big sports family. Everyone else went to really big ACC schools, and I wanted that, but on a smaller scale, and Elon provided just that.
I loved their communication school. I loved how innovative it was, what they were doing here. All of the amenities they have, the studios and cameras was super appealing to me.
I accepted Elon just because, I was kind of eager and just really wanted to just start getting into it. And Elon really gave me the best opportunity.
I just got an email after I was accepted, and they said, hey, do you want to be part of the Maroon Sports Broadcasting cohort? And I said, yeah, of course.
Being in the cohort taught me a lot of things that I didn't even know I didn't know or was even interested in. It gave a lot of really cool opportunities that I don't think I would have gotten without being in the cohort.
I was really all in and doing really everything I could, and they really kind of jump-started me in getting the opportunities I wanted.
I'm so glad I joined these organizations, not only to gain experience, but to gain friendships and also people that I can rely on and I know that I'll be working with in the future when we're all in the professional world.
We understand the grind and the hustle of being a sports video person. So these are the people that I'll continue to be friends with after school and also that are going to help me in the professional realm. I think what Elon Sports Vision can do is give them a wide array of opportunities and show them all of the different possibilities that are available in the sports video world.
A bigger school that's maybe more prestigious for sports broadcast, you would never get these opportunities because they're all professional guys or graduates that are trying to make it big and get to the next level. And so your underclassmen or your undergraduates don't have the opportunities that we're given here at Elon.
I think Elon Sports Vision is, a place where really anyone can just come and have that passion be fueled.
Welcome back to Elon Phoenix Weekly. Now, Tellier, we know how competitive our men's soccer team is on the field, but they're just as competitive as they are in the classroom.
Well, you're absolutely right, Taylor. And the Elon University men's soccer team was honored by the United Soccer Coaches with the College Team Academic Award for the 2018-2019 academic school year. This is the 11th time out of the past 12 years that Elon has earned a team academic award. The Phoenix posted a 3.41 GPA during the 2018-2019 academic school year. That was actually the second highest team GPA in the CAA among men's soccer teams. When asked about the award, head coach Mark Reeves said, "I am proud of our players' continued commitment to academic success. We place an emphasis on each player maximizing their GPA and contributing to the team."
Speaking of impressive teamwork, our women's soccer team has also had a lot of success as well. This year, they're 8-3-2, and after back-to-back double overtime games, the Phoenix now have a 7-day break before their next game at Townsend. Emmanuel Tobe caught up with head coach Neil Payne to discuss their team's success.
All right, so we're here with Coach Neil after the Phoenix game. So, Coach, what are some things that you saw kind of in that 1-1 game against Drexel?
Well, they've always been a very organised team. We knew that coming in. Defensively, they're very, very strong. We created less chances than we normally have throughout the season, but it's Sunday. We're on the second game, and you know that's a variable that you've got to consider. But I did feel like the chances we did have, we could have scored from. And of course, the goal we give up, they didn't necessarily score it. We made a poor error and lack of judgment on the back line. So, if you eradicate that game, I'd like to think we'd win 1-0, but we didn't. And once again, we rolled our sleeves up. We never give up. We believe we could score right to the end. And I'm incredibly proud of the group.
And you talked about that one goal that you gave up, the own goal. But just for your defense, other than that, a really good, solid game. What are your thoughts about how your defense has played? Not just this game, but throughout the year.
Oh, they've been excellent all year. We've had a few games where some cracks have opened up, but that's given us the opportunity to work on that. And we've absorbed that information well. But we knew that they would go direct, and they did. So it was about dealing with that first ball and handling the second ball. And overall we did okay in the second ball, but that could probably improve. And that's one way of helping our back line a little bit.
And this is back-to-back overtime games for the Phoenix. So what are some things that you kind of tell your team as you're in the huddle and the overtime period is starting?
Well, you've got to keep your focus and concentration, and even though we have an appetite to go and score, we know we've got the players that can score goals. So we've got to make sure that we're preparing to defend. We stay organised, not just get organised, and you don't want to be countered. And the players we've got, we will always create goals. So just make sure we keep it solid at the back.
When you talk about creating goals, then to me, when I think of playmaking and I think of the Phoenix, I think of Doherty and her ability to pass and to really make plays. What has really just shown out to you about how she's been playing this year?
Well, Hannah's a wonderful soccer player. Technically, I'm not sure there's anybody better in tight spaces in the conference than Hannah. We know we can play her a ball under pressure. We know she's going to retain it. She's going to attract attention, which gives us opportunities elsewhere. And the big piece with Hannah, of course, is that she has the ability to play that final pass. It's not just about kicking it. You got to play the right ball, and Hannah can certainly do that.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Well, Taylor, it's very clear that the Elon women's soccer team has things moving in the right direction, and a lot of that is due to head coach Neil Payne, who has truly turned around the program in just his third season. When we come back, we have a special segment with Elon quarterback Davis Cheek. Stick around.
At Elon, you can create your own opportunity.
We come with so much potential, and we come with so much desire.
And we can compete on any level, no matter the stage. And that's something that's pretty special. come to Elon to check a box or to fulfill requirements, to study conventionally. I came for the experiential components. I came for the people.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Elon Phoenix Weekly.
One of our new segments on the show is all about the X's and O's of Elon football. Our very own Peter Fortunato has been around the football team all year and has developed quite the eye for schemes. With the help of Elon's man under center, Davis Cheek, Peter gives us a chance to live the game from inside the helmet. In the very first episode of Fortunato's Film Room, we take a look at what stood out in last week's football game. Let's see what Peter and Davis broke down this week.
Hi, my name is Peter Fortunato, and I am sitting with starting quarterback Davis Cheek of the Elon football team. Davis, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you doing?
We're doing good. So we usually see you on the field. We see you, throwing passes out in the field, calling plays, but where are we today? What are we doing today?
Today we're going to look at some film, and we're going to kind of break down some good and some bad, and we're just going to look at some plays from the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into the actual film, let's kind of start with your film history. So when did you start watching film as a football player?
Yeah, so I started watching film back in high school. I would say I really didn't start watching film, really like just diving into it until college. I kind of knew what I was watching, but for the most part, I really started learning football more in college, and I feel like that's pretty standard. The big thing was just trying to figure out reads, that kind of stuff in high school, but I really had to learn about all kinds of different things, caps, who's coming, who's blitzing. I had to set protections. Been doing that since freshman year, so those kind of things take more time, and also check plays, stuff like that. So that's the thing that takes time, and those are why people sit there and say I live in the film room, something like that. So yeah, that's kind of the history.
Do you consider yourself a film junkie where you're always in the film? Like, if you're not on the practice field or in the classroom, you're in the film room, or are you more so like, I'm a natural athlete, I just go out there and ball?
No, I don't think the team would consider me a really natural athlete. But I mean, yeah, I definitely need to be in here because especially my position, it's very mental. It's very, my practice and stuff like that aren't physically as taxing as other people. So the big things I have to make up is the mental side. I mean, it's the same thing that Tom Brady, people have said his 4.2 40 is, his drive and his work ethic, and that starts in the film room. And, he just sits there with a button and clicks on and clicks off and just keeps on going. So that's really kind of where I'm trying to get to.
All right, you ready to watch some film?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
The ACC opponent here, they're a really good football team. The thing about Wake Forest that I feel like they do really, really well is they were extremely disciplined, and they understood what they needed to do when it came to run game, and also what they needed to do in pass game. So the thing about playing teams like this is that you have to execute. And that's the one thing that I feel like that we could have done a lot better as a unit this game, is that we needed to execute better, especially just as the game wore on and as you start to get tired, things like that. But this is something really good to see. So with this play, we bring our wide receiver from the field. We start to bring him in, and this kind of helps start to diagnose whether it's zone, man, things like that. You start, as you look at the everything here, when you see people within people, and not really a straight line of people or of human beings, you think more zone, and especially here, you start to bring him in. They start to kind of end up sending him a little bit. They start to creep him up a little bit, trying to give you some thoughts of, okay, is he coming, something like that. Like, is he going to blitz? Do they have a blitz on? Are they going to roll down? So there are a lot of different things are going through your head, basically. Yeah. So we start to bring him in. This helps tell us, like, okay, they start to show their hand a little bit more. You see he starts creeping down. The reason he starts creeping down is because he has run responsibility. And especially this tight end coming over, he's thinking, okay, we've got a slice zone going on. I've got to be able to fit this gap, and I've got to be able to fit off of him and stop the run here. And that's exactly what we want. We have a play action right here. So I just get off the midline, let him go down, and we're trying to create that vertical distortion we were just talking about earlier. And that's exactly what you get right here. You see him screaming down. You see this safety screaming down as well. And these corners, they're seeing the routes come, and they're trying to just play. And he's in a I have to get back, and we end up actually hitting a post. The big thing here, I ended up actually pump faking because I wanted to make sure that none of these guys rolled off, and make sure that, because you can't see the whole field the entire time, so you pick up some bits of information as you can. And big thing is I see this safety rolling down, I'm thinking, okay, we've got quarters coverage, we've got what we want, we've got the post that we were talking about earlier, that's really good against quarters. Avery does a really good job here of getting on the corner's toes, starting to get in his blind spot, and then just running away. And the big thing here, the thing that's really difficult that people sometimes don't see is this adjustment right here. This adjustment is extremely hard. So I know that I've got a lot of space over top. I'm just sitting there thinking, throw it, don't underthrow it, don't make him come back, just give him the ball to where he can make a play. So I end up actually skinning him up a little bit, or bringing him a little bit more vertical. And as you can see, the ball is going, and it makes a really good adjustment to actually let the ball fall over his outside shoulder. You know, that's a really difficult thing to do. Part of your job is to sit there and take a hit, and that's completely fine. We'll take a hit every single day if it means a touchdown.
Studying for Davis Cheek has definitely been helping out this year. In Cheek's first 5 games, he has had almost 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, and only 1 interception.
Well, it's clear that Elon football gets a lot of attention, but off the field, one of Elon's distinguishing factors is the accessibility of the faculty and staff. But not many schools can claim that about their president.
When Elon president Dr. Connie Book is not busy running the school, one can sometimes find her in the Mosley Student Center, not passed out on the beanbags like most others dominating the student lounge, but the ping pong table. We caught up with President Book about her recent challengers and the story behind the monthly event.
It's a great way to share the passion for ping pong and just play with friends and meet President Book.
Senior Stephen May is one of 2 co-founding presidents of the Elon Club table tennis team started just last year in the fall of 2018. Stephen's dream of forming a club table tennis team at Elon was made possible by one special faculty advisor, Elon University President Connie Brook, who shares the same passion for the quirky game of ping pong.
It's a fun thing to do, and you can get better at it, right? So you can improve, and I like seeing every week the students coming back playing a little better and than they were at the beginning of the semester, right?
Despite a jam-packed schedule as the school's president, Book still makes time for the game she loves.
I don't do any other clubs, right? Table tennis is it. That's the only club I do, and I think that's also important, that we pick a few things that we really love and that we make time for them.
Stephen and the Table Tennis Club have loved having President Book's support, as they all share a passion for the game.
She's just super nice, and it's really fun to see people enjoy ping pong, and like the president being really involved with the sport. It's just super great and super fun. President Book has said, ping pong is such a great sport. You can talk and play at the same time. You don't really. It's not all about just hitting the ball. It's also a social thing that you can have fun with, and meet the president. That's a really rare opportunity that not every school has this kind of casual interaction with the president. So it's a really good opportunity for everyone to come and play.
While President Book enjoys playing table tennis, what she likes even more are the people who play and the interactions that occur during their sessions.
It's just a great group of people who play table tennis. People come to table tennis and they were telling me all sorts of things, right? And I really enjoyed hearing about their experiences.
Table tennis has a deep history in the Book household, and the game has helped unite the family together.
My daughter didn't take to it too much, but my son did, and I was always amazed. I'd say on the drive home, well, how was school? And they'd be one word, fine, But then when I played table tennis with my son, we'd be in the 3rd set, and he'd start talking, about what really happened that day in school. And so we played, it literally was in our hallway because of the winter months, but we played every day and kept up a board, and eventually my son started to beat me.
Table tennis plays a vital role in President Book's mental well-being, and she wants her students to know that they can and should make time for these type of fun and interactive activities in the community.
I want students to see that, no matter how busy you are, or that there's time, that you can have time, and we can only do so much, right? And so that they can see me taking time to take a walk, that it's important for me to take a break and play table tennis, and I enjoy it, and it gives me a chance to interact with students, and you get to talk while you play table tennis. So just having the time and space for those kinds of conversations, That's essential for well-being and our quality of life.
Thank you, President Book, for all you do for us. When we come back, we'll take a look at the women's volleyball team this season and find out if I have what it takes to play. Stay tuned.
I didn't come to Elon to check a box or to fulfill requirements, to study conventionally. I came for the experiential components. I came for the people.
If I had to pick something that I'm taking from Elon, I want to take that can-do mentality. I don't think the world needs another person talking about how many problems we have. I think the world needs people who are going to go out there and do something about them.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to Elon Phoenix Weekly. So Tellier, how is the volleyball team doing this season?
Well, they're playing really well, and they've got a lot of good freshmen that are getting a lot of playing time, including Jen Krasminski, Alex Van Westernen, and Jordan Gower. Those have been some really good new faces for the program. They've already racked up 8 5-set matches so far this season, including the most recent one at the College of Charleston when they stole that one in 5 sets. And that was the first time they'd ever beaten them when they were in the CAA. So a huge match for them and a huge win for the program to really get it started. Now for the team, one of the most important players for that team is the setter, Cody Garcia. In a new segment called Tellier's Tutorials, where I learn an aspect of a new sport straight from the athletes themselves. I had the chance to meet with Cody and hear about her path through volleyball as she taught me how to serve a volleyball. And quite frankly, I was taken to school. Take a look. Welcome to Tellier's Tutorials. I'm Tellier Lundquist alongside Cody Garcia, junior setter for Elon's volleyball team. Cody, thanks for joining us. And how long have you been playing volleyball?
I've been playing volleyball for 9 to 10 years now.
Well, what got you into volleyball?
So I originally started playing soccer, but all my sisters play volleyball. I'm the youngest of 3. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I saw my older sister one day playing volleyball. I was like, I want to do that. Mm-hmm. And so my parents put me on my sister's team, and ever since then I've just been playing, haven't stopped since.
So right off the bat, you were playing against higher levels?
Yeah, I played up.
You played up.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that kind of move you up in terms of progression? How quickly did you rise up in club ball?
So when I started playing, I had been playing other sports. I was like a pretty athletic little kid for the most part, and I always played with my sister, and she always taught me things. So that was kind of nice having her on the court, and in practice, she was much wiser than me at this point, and all I wanted to do was practice and play. And so being able to play with the older girls kind of helped me because I played up for 2 years, and then I started playing with my years after that. And I mean, after playing with older girls, you're obviously going to be somewhat more developed than the girls you're playing with who haven't been playing as long as you. So I think it really helped my progress and my volleyball IQ in that way.
Mm-hmm. So you've been a setter for how many years now?
9 to 10.
So, so what transitioned you from other positions to then focus on being a setter?
So I started out as an outside hitter, like most little girls. They always want to hit the ball. But in reality, my parents weren't tall. I wasn't going to grow much. And I wanted the ball, and the setter gets the ball at least once a play. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want the ball. I want to be the person to make that difference in the court, being in charge. So after my first season, I switched and I started training my hands, to get good hands, and then ever since.
Yeah, so you are in the top 10 in Elon's history in assists.
Yeah.
What can you say about, and you're only just in the middle of your 3rd year, so what can you say about who's gotten you to this point and how you've done that?
Oh gosh, all my hitters, really, all my hitters, starting from freshman year to now, whenever they get a kill, I get a sense of accomplishment too, because I helped them with that, and I was when I'm throwing balls up and they're crushing it, I'm like, oh.
So in certain rotations, you not only set the ball, but you actually get back to serve a lot. And so you've done a lot of that this year especially. You've been coming into that service position when you check into the game. So how can you talk about the evolution of your service game?
So my serve. Yeah, when I come in, like, I walk back and I'm like, I really like want to get an ace. You know, like I want to stay in this position as long as I can because I love serving. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Like it's like an opportunity for me to score a point, you know, like for my team because I don't score many points. I'm gonna help people score points, but like I'm not physically doing the hard work to score. So like when I go back and serve, like that's like a huge mentality for me. It's like, oh, like put the ball on them right here, and so like we can score the point, and I can stay in this rotation, you know.
And so you have a very memorable routine on your serve. You do a lot of different aspects. Can you kind of talk me through that before you start showing me some stuff?
So I'm very like superstitious, and I've had this like same routine. It's changed a little bit since last year, but like for like the past 2 years, you know, I walk back, I say something in my head. I'm not gonna say it. And it's not bad, it's just, you know, it's personal, I walk back and I like do a little basketball thing and I turn around and I catch the ball. I face my person I'm serving to, I squat down and I bounce the ball 6 times, spin it, I knock on the floor, I knock on wood. I stand up, I spin it again, and I like face the person I'm serving and I stare at her. Kind of weird, I know.
Oh, you gotta size them up.
I stare at her and I look around her like the court, and I'm like, all right, the ball's right there. And I just go for it. I serve, and you know, if it works, it works.
That's awesome. All right, you ready to show me how to do some stuff?
Sure. Okay, go bless him.
Really?
You toss with your opposite hand.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all the time we have on the first episode of Tellier's Tutorials. Cody Garcia, thanks for joining us for this one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think it was too bad.
It was pretty bad.
Well, there's a lot of room for improvement.
There is, in fact, a lot of room.
Yeah, but I gotta say, that was one of the most fun segments I've ever done, so I'm glad I got to do that one.
Well, if you missed anything or want to watch it again, be sure to check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Elon Phoenix Weekly.
You can also catch us here on Spectrum Cable Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m.
Head to elonphoenix.com to learn more about upcoming games and exciting successes for Elon Athletics. And don't forget to tune in next time when we return for another exciting edition of Elon Phoenix Weekly.
On behalf of our producers and crew here at the show, we hope you have a great weekend.
From Elon Phoenix Weekly, I'm Taylor Schmitt.
And I'm Tellier Lundquist. Live the maroon life. Go Phoenix.